Get ready for two savage tales of black and white pulp fiction adventure when Conan wages a one-man war against nature and Breckenridge Elkins pays a steep price for a jealous outburst. It's all right here in our review of The Savage Sword of Conan, number 7 from Titan Comics. See you in 3. Welcome back to Comical Opinions. This is our review of The Savage Sword of Conan, number 7. Now, since this is an anthology, we're going to talk about each story separately, and then we'll bring it all together by the end with the score, so stay tuned for that. First off, we're going to begin with Conan's story entitled Mark of the Beast. This tale is inspired by a Rudyard Kipling story. We catch up with Conan as he escorts a woman who appears to be a poor slave girl back to the city of Kosala. After her rescue, the woman claimed to be the daughter of a Punjar who would pay handsomely for her safe return. Beset by thieves and distrustful guards that they encounter along the way, and once they get into the main city, Conan eventually makes good on his promise to return the woman to her, let's call it, less than grateful father. Along the way, Conan also makes friends with a fellow adventurer by the name of Raja. After a day or two of drunken revelry in the city of Kosala, paid for by the Punjar's meager reward, Raja's purse is snatched by a sprinting thief. He chases the thief into the Temple of the Tiger God, which is this lone corner building that's maintained by a series of really creepy monks. Conan urges Raja to forget the money, but the latter is too stubborn to let it go. Raja chases down the thief, but he finds himself surrounded by Tiger God priests and an albino leper who brands Raja with a curse for his desecration of the temple. Conan helps Raja to flee the temple, and they take up a couple horses to ride out of the city to avoid further trouble. On the lonely, dusty trail several days later, Raja and Conan need to find better lodgings because they're just hoofing it outside in the wilderness. One night, Raja becomes inhumanly ravenous with hunger, and he rides off before he can do anything crazy. Conan tries to catch up with him, but he loses Raja in the dark. The chase leads Conan to an old rope bridge over a ravine. After a harrowing cross with his horse, and unfortunately his horse doesn't make it, Conan reaches the other side to find a beautiful woman who appears to have command over the animals. She sees a kindred animal spirit in Conan that suggests he will make a good mate and king for her role as queen over the animal kingdom. The ancient god who gives the woman her power, and the woman's name is Darhini, urges her to form a partnership with Conan so that the two of them may lead the animals to destroy humanity and take over the earth. Conan refuses to become her king, but a suitable mate is ready to take his place. Raja has returned, but this time he's now in the shape of a were-tiger who is barely in control of his senses. The issue concludes with a titanic battle between the wills of men and beasts. The second story in this anthology is a much shorter one, and it's based on a completely different character, titled The 12th Labor of Breckenridge Elkins. Fabled frontiersman Breckenridge Elkins gets himself into quite the pickle when he uses his impossible strength to eject a rival to Maggie McNeil's affections. The rival broke both his legs in a fall down a ravine when Breckenridge threw him out of a window, so Elkins undertakes an updated version of the 12 Labors of Hercules to make things right with his rival's family to prevent a blood feud. In proper frontier fashion, Elkins chops down 1,000 cords of wood, he widens roads, and catches 1,000 fish and more. He goes through the frontiersman modern equivalent of Hercules' labors. Unfortunately, one of his trials oversteps the territory of an indigenous tribe, prompting the tribe's witch to put a curse on Elkins, which makes his remaining trials even more trying. Eventually, Elkins completes his last trial against an inhuman bear who may not be entirely inhuman, but the penance he paid after 2 years of labor may not have been worth all the effort when he finds out what happens while he's been away. And that's the issue, so let's talk about first impressions, art, and all the good stuff. The Savage Sword of Conan number 7 is darn near perfect in terms of style, tone, entertainment value, and quality. The Conan story, written by legend Roy Thomas, is an extended tale of a man against nature, and it's a worthy addition to Robert E. Howard's canon. The second tale, about Breckenridge Elkins, is Patrick Zurcher's homage to the mature yet still humorous take on one of Howard's few comedic characters, and it's a surprise hit. Most people have never heard of Breckenridge Elkins, but it is another Howard character, and it's known for kind of like slapsticky type of humorous storytelling. You don't get slapstick here, but it's still entertaining and a bit humorous nonetheless. Let's switch gears and talk about the art for a second. There's a lot of phrases that go around social media and message boards and what have you. Does anybody use message boards anymore? I don't know. Okay. As the kids these days say, I can't even. Robert de la Torre's art is in top form with this grim, powerful take on Conan as he battles men, wild beasts, and monsters for the fate of the world. We've noted on more than one occasion that some artist styles lend themselves better to black and white over color, or the opposite, depending on your preferences, but de la Torre's artwork looks magnificent in every medium, black and white or color. Likewise, Juan Alberto Hernandez, no relation, gives a rich, detailed set of pencils and inks for Patrick Zurcher's Tall Tale, and it's shockingly good. Switching over to the positives, I gotta say this. Roy Thomas is a legendary comic creator, and this issue underscores why that label is not only earned, it's deserved many times over. Thomas's tale of woe for Conan hits all the right notes with wild adventure, dark threats, weird, whimsical settings, and high adventure. Further, for the second story, Patrick Zurcher shocks and delights by putting a modern spin on Breckenridge Elkins for a short, tall tale, if that's even a thing, you won't see coming but will be glad you read it. This is a delightful issue from start to finish. I know I don't use that word much, but it absolutely applies. So let's switch over to the negatives, or what could be improved about the Savage Sword of Conan number 7. The answer to that question is nothing. Normally, we would try to look for some kind of small nitpick to show we're putting effort into being objective, but honestly, there's nothing to call out in this issue. It's a winner, start to finish, nothing negative about it. Whatever Titan and their partnership with the Heroes Initiative is doing, keep doing more of that because you're nailing it. Final thoughts, what do we think about the Savage Sword of Conan number 7? If you hadn't already guessed, it takes everything you love about Robert E. Howard's brand of adventure and gives you exactly what you're craving. Roy Thomas's Conan story is the quintessential pulp adventure, and Patrick Zurcher's update to Breckenridge Elkins is a surprise. In a good way, a very good surprise. Plus, the art team's output is it's magnificent. There's no other way to say it. This isn't a comic you read, it's a comic you savor. Therefore, the Savage Sword of Conan number 7 earns a 10 out of 10. We rarely give out 10s, but in this case, it is 100% earned. If you are a Robert E. Howard fan, if you like pulp adventure, absolutely do not miss this issue. You know what? But what do you think? That's my opinion. I'm being profuse with my praise, as it were, but am I overselling it? Am I making it sound better than it really is? Or are you just as enamored with what Titan is doing with comics involving Conan as I am? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Give me your opinion about where you think Titan needs to go next. We know they're doing Conan. We know we have a Solomon Kane run coming up. What other Robert E. Howard character deserves their own time in the spotlight for at least a miniseries, if not an ongoing? Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you're thinking. So I hope you found this review helpful. If you enjoyed what you heard here, please click on the link in the description to read the written review, to check out all the preview pages, the variant covers, and what have you. And if you're listening to this on YouTube, please click on the subscribe button down below so we can keep you updated on new stuff that's coming up in the future. So thank you very much for joining, and stay tuned through the outro for more reviews just like this one.